All right, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about the present value of an annuity. It's pretty much, with a formula, kind of like future value of an annuity, except now you're trying to find how much how much you can borrow now. You know what I mean? Instead of depositing money into an account and watching it grow to a future value, you want to borrow money now. So you want a present value in annuity. I is still rate per period. Okay, so sometimes you're going to have to take your rate and divide it by the number of payments to get rate per period. Your n here to the negative n power, it's the number of periods. So always ask yourself, how many times am I going to have to make payments? How many payments are going to be made over the course of the loan? So let's just try a simple problem first, just to kind of get used to the formula. All right, let's look at this problem. In this problem, I'm giving you all the highlights. N is 29, I is 0.021, the payment's 249, and I'm looking for the present value of the annuity. So this one's really just kind of a plug and chug problem. So I'm going to fill in everything. My payment's 249, 1 plus 0.021, raised the negative 29, all over 0.021. Now, if you don't have like a TI 8384 calculator, you just have like a basic scientific calculator, then you're going to want to do this piece by piece, and I'm going to walk you through that. First, go ahead and do 1 plus 0.021. Then you're going to raise that answer to the negative 29th power, and I get like 0.54734. I'm going to take 1 minus that. I get 0.45266. I'm going to divide that by 0.021. I get 21.55546, and then times that by 249. And I get my final answer to be $5,367.31. I'm so sorry about my bad handwriting. I promise my handwriting is not that bad, but try like writing with a stylus on an iPad. It's so hard. Okay, I'm going to read this to you because I know it's bad. Okay, it says a company offers a 36-month auto loan at 5.4% compounded monthly to applicants. The monthly payment of $584 has to be made. How much can you borrow? And what is the total interest you will pay for this loan? Now, this is actually a beautiful problem that demonstrates present value annuity. So they're offering a 36-month, the company's offering a 36-month loan, so which means you have to pay back the loan within 36 months, 3 years. And most loans are like 3 to 5 years for cars. At a 5.4% compounded monthly, and you know it's compounded monthly because you know that car payments have to be paid every month. Now, all you can afford to pay, you go up to this company and this company says, how much can you afford to pay each month? And you say $584. That's about as high as I can go. Well, how much money are they going to give you for that? Does that make sense? How much is your loan going to be? Are you going to be able to buy like a Kia, like a little Bug, or can you actually buy like a Mercedes, or like what are they going to give you for that? How much do you qualify for if you can only pay $584 and these are the stipulations of the loan? So let's go ahead and pull out the pertinent information. We know it's a 36-month loan. Well, you guys, that's already your N. Your N is going to be 36. Because remember, N stands for the number of periods. How many times are you going to make payments? You're going to make payments 36 times if you have to pay back this loan within 36 months. Your R is 0.054. I went ahead and moved it over 2 times. You know it's compounded monthly. So can't we find I? Remember, I is R over N. I is the rate per period. So 0.054 divided by 12. That equals 0.0045. Okay? You know your payment is going to be $584. Okay, so you basically have all of your material, all of your stuff for your equation. All right, so then I wrote down the formula. Okay, and I filled in everything I knew, my payment, my I value, my N value. And remember, if you have a scientific calculator, that you want to do it piece by piece. And I'm sorry that I'm only like cautioning the people who have scientific calculators. So even if you have a TI-83, 84 calculator, you have to be really careful, because if you're putting this all in at once, you have to put parentheses around everything. You want to make sure, if you have a TI-83, 84, that you have parentheses around your numerator here, and then parentheses around your denominator here. Okay? And remember, every set of parentheses you open, you have to close, and you have to make sure it's in the correct place. So once I put this in the calculator, I get $19,369.29. Okay? So that is how much I can borrow if that's going to be my monthly payment with the rest of the stipulations. Excuse me. Okay, this is actually a two-part problem. The next question asked, what's the total interest you will pay for this loan? Okay, here is your payment. You are paying $584. How many times? 36 times, because you're paying for 36 months. So that is a total of $21,024. That's a comma, not a decimal. Okay, $21,024. So that's how much money you paid the bank back. But this is how much money you initially took out of the loan, for the loan. So you take how much money you paid, you subtract the initial amount of the loan to get your interest, and your interest is $1,654.71. Okay? Okay, let's read this one together, and then go ahead and pause it and see if you can work this one out yourself and if you can get the correct answer. Okay, and then come back, of course, and we'll work it out together. If you buy a computer directly from the manufacturer for $3,223 and agree to repay it in 60 equal installments at 1.64% interest per month on the balance, how much are your monthly payments? How much total interest will be paid? Okay, so go ahead and pause it and see if you can work this one out yourself. I'm going to give you a little hint. There's a little trick in here, so just be really careful. And then come back in and see if you got the right answer. Okay, so I'm going to kind of highlight some stuff before we start working it out. You buy a computer directly from the manufacturer for $3,223. I always find it that if you're working a word problem, if you put yourself in the word problem, it just makes it more relatable and a little bit more easier to understand. So let's say my computer's on the fritz and I have to buy a new computer. I want to buy it directly from the manufacturer's website for $3,223. But they have a payment plan. I can actually pay this back in 60 equal installments, but of course, if you're not paying it in full, you're going to have to pay interest. 1.64% interest per month. That is what I want you to highlight right there, you guys. 1.64% interest per month on the balances. How much are your total monthly payments, and how much interest will be paid? So this right here is already your PV. That's your present value of your annuity. That's how much money you want to borrow. And then you want to find your PMT, which are your payments. Okay? What I wanted to tell you here is, you know it's compounded monthly, but this is your I. Your I is 0.0164. You do not have to divide it by 12. If you go back and look what I stands for the rate per period. Well, what is the period? It's monthly. So your period's every month. So this is already the rate per month. It's the rate per period. So you don't have to divide it by 12. So be really careful with that, you guys, okay? Sometimes you have to divide your rate by 12 and sometimes you don't. I stands for the rate per period. The period in this case is because you're making monthly payments is a month. So the period's a month. So they're telling you this is your rate per period, so you don't have to divide it by 12. Okay? Everything else is the same. Okay, so I wrote down the formula, and then I filled in everything that we knew. We knew that this was your present value of your annuity. That's your present value of the loan that you want to take out. Your I is 0.0164. You're doing it over 60 payments, so it's negative 60. And so what you can do, you guys, is you can figure this out right here, because there is no unknown quantity there. So go ahead and type that in your calculator very carefully and see what you come up with. Okay, and I get, let me bring this down here. This is the payment times this value, right? That's multiplication because there was no symbol in between. So I get 37.9995 around there. 37.9995. 3 nines, yeah. Okay. So if you're trying to find your payment's being multiplied by this value, we're going to go ahead and divide both sides by 37.9995. And that brings your payment to $84.82. So you're going to make 60 equal installments of $84.82. Okay? Now, the second part of the question asks you how much total interest will be paid. Well, if you're going to be paying $84.82 60 times, let's see how much money you're going to pay. You're going to pay $5,089.20. Well, how much was the computer? The computer was only $3,223. So how much did you pay in interest? $1,866.20. So $1,866.20 is your interest. Okay? Okay, this is the last problem we're going to do. So let's look at this one. You want to purchase a car, okay, and the car's $31,694. So the dealer offers you, there's two specials going on. You can either have 0% financing for 60 months, or they can give you $3,170 rebate. Right off the bat, take off $3,107. You know that you can obtain 6% financing for 60 months at a local bank. So which option do you choose? Now, this is actually a problem for a lot of people who are buying a car. I mean, you get these two deals, and really, you really don't know. Some people really are like, I don't know which one's better. Like, which one do I want to do? Is it better to take 0% financing for 60 months, or is it better just to take the rebate, take the money now? Like, this is a real conflict for people, and usually people choose wrong, you guys. So you really want to figure it out. Take the time to sit down, pull out your calculator if you need to, and don't laugh. I brought my TI-89 calculator when I bought my truck. I brought it with me. So, and I ended up getting a really good deal. So you really want to sit down and figure out what is the better deal. Okay, so first let's just go deal by deal. Let's look at the first one. I can write down here. Okay, so the first deal, let's make it purple. Okay, 0% financing for 60 months. That means there is no interest rate. You're going to take the price of the car and divide it by 60 months, and that's going to be your payment. So we're going to have $31,694. I'm going to divide it over 60 months. Your car payment would be $528.23. Sorry, I'm tired. Okay, $528.23. Okay, now if you go with the other plan, the 3107 rebate, you're going to have to go with your bank, and your bank was the 6% financing for 60 months. Okay, so you're going to get the money off, but then they're not going to give you a financing plan. You're going to have to finance with your bank. Sorry, I need a little bit more room with this. So we, real quick, for Plan A, we had $528.23. $28,587. Okay? So that's your loan. Now here we actually have an interest rate. Our interest rate, I'm sorry, that's not interest rate. Our interest rate is 6%. And it says 6% financing for 60 months. So you know your N is 60 months. Now, is this the same as your I? And the answer is no, it's not, because it just said you can obtain 6% financing for 60 months. It didn't say 6% per month. So I'm actually going to have to divide the 0.06 divided by 12 to get my I. And that is 0.005. So okay, so now I'm ready. I know my loan amount is $28,587. equals my payment, which we're looking for, so we can compare it. Open parentheses, 1 minus 1 plus 0.005 to the negative 60 power. Ooh, that's a 60. 60 power all over 0.005. And I get that the payment will be $552.67. $552.67. So if you look at it, plan A is better. You want to go with a 0% financing. And most of the time, you guys, it always is, because you're not paying interest. And if you can always go a route where you're not paying interest, that's the awesome route to go. Now, of course, I'm going to ask a backup question. How much money am I saving per month? Okay. Now, this keeps you from always choosing 0% financing, because you're like, you're going to see 0% financing, like, oh, I don't even have to work anything out, 0% financing, done. But I'm going to make you. I want to know how much money you're going to be saving every month. So I'm going to take this payment and subtract this payment, and I find out that I'm saving $24.44 a month. That is a trip for your family to Subway. You know, like, it means something. So, that's it. So hopefully you understand. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know.